This week on Hermitcraft.
Oh my gosh, she's coming over here. We've got her! Yes! We've got our own Jelly. Jelly, this is amazing. This is the best day ever.
Game's over, folks. Scar got his cat. Minecraft was won. We can all go home now. We've done it. We're finally free. Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixel Riffs, our writer is LoyXP, and just when you thought we were out, they pulled us back in.
Oh, dear Hermit, if you are reading this, you have been selected for an epic quest. GG, you've been had. Hashtag jingled.
Not only does this week see the sudden return of the fabled Jingler, but in a shocking twist, the Salmon Ghost saga comes to its admittedly anticlimactic conclusion.
He was in the village the whole time. Who knew?
Turns out, all he wanted was to dance.
Having the time of his life in there. I don't even know if he can stop.
The same can be said about the entire villager population of Hermitville as they meet their anticlimactic end somewhere off-screen at the hands of a pillager patrol twice.
I repopulated it myself with hours of work. They've all disappeared again.
Though the Hermitville Repopulation Program, or HERP for short, is very much attached to Grian as his personal vendetta against the loneliness of the woods, we bring this up here to highlight that the patrol spawning is being adjusted in the snapshots, so better luck next time when you breed them up only to find out that breathing air is poisonous to them or some sort of bug like that. Still, it's nice to know that you won't be finding Ravagers in your backyard as much in future. And with that out of the way, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week.
And yeah, these sandals ain't gonna sell themselves, man, so it looks like it's time for a bit of road tripping with the Ren Bibbidi Bow, man. Let's put on some shoes and let's get on the road.
Starting with GoodTimesWith Scar, whose personal loneliness in the woods hasn't stopped him from erecting a full neighbourhood of modern-styled houses that are definitely not barracks for his upcoming villager army.
In our last episode, we unintentionally started to breed, and things have got out of hand since then, which I now declare myself the best unintentional breeder in all of Minecraft.
To further prove that the railgun-looking telescope of the observatory is but a civilian building, Scar adds a robotics factory to the ensemble, the products of which look only 1 or 2 blocks off from the Securitrons from New Vegas, and we all know everything worked out great in that game.
I mean, I tried a bunch of different ones, like with 2 wheels, 4 wheels, but this one, I like this one. I think it's really unique and futuristic, and these things were so much fun to put together for the Concord War Machine. Sweetberry's agricultural services.
TFC's Fallout-inspired antics are much less friendly to the villager kind.
I don't like them. I hate them. So any villagers found within the vault are subject to being summarily executed on the spot.
And they should be even more concerned now that he has access to crossbows. After introducing a few viewer-suggested changes to his indoor-outdoor grilling area, including some nether quartz on a spit above the campfire, he tries out some of the new crafting stations, getting to grips with how on earth you get a blast furnace now and what the heck a grindstone does. After the bamboo farming arms race we had last week, it's a nice change of pace to see TFC simply swap out half of his sugarcane for bamboo shoots. He'll probably still get more than he ever needs. Cubfan, as it turns out, has some villagers stored underground as well, but his ones are weapons grade.
We got 5 Vindicators in here, and we gotta figure out what to do with these guys.
Though the Concorp duties he's taken care of are fairly inoffensive, from restocking the corporatively owned shops to just checking up on people for the viewers' sake. The biggest and most in-depth thing he does this week is a rainbow room to store all the spoils from the wool farm, which admittedly too was over-redstoned and supercharged.
And look at this. It's a giant mass of comparators and redstone dust. I'm guessing that's significant.
We transition to Zombie Cleo because of her affection for rainbows, but this week her build is more on the terrifying side, and we're talking Pinocchio levels of terrifying. Inside the Kraken attacking her ship, Cleo sets up an armor stand diorama of all the sailors the creature has swallowed whole, and how they're kind of okay with that.
I don't know, I guess this is like Monstro, isn't it?
Of special note are tricky campfires still holding the fish to dry it off, and cod-headed people frying regular cod on the fire, because all fish are equal, but some fish are more equal than others.
Minecraft, I loved you. I loved you. I still love you. Even to this day, this is brilliant.
False Symmetry plays a bit nicer with her armor stands. Apparently the news of Sahara opening has reached her, and just like with Scar's landscaping shop before, she's eager to patronize it. So much so that she sets up camp right at the entrance of it and puts down armor stands to secure her place in the line.
Got me
Sat here first in line, of course, and then I thought, elongate the queue a little bit.
We're like a big corporation.
Though being the first one to throw something into the decoder might not be all it's cracked up to be. More on that later. Her own base once again grows upwards when False builds a stargazing tower, which is not an astronomy tower because it has no telescope yet.
I'm really happy with it sweeping around, which is rare because, as you can see by the rest of my base, it's all geometric.
Well, she can at least take a look at one planet, the one Azuma Void bought a banner pattern of. Continuing the tower motif of Tower Bay, Azuma brings in a sugarcane farm enclosed in another skyscraper, through windows of which you can see the contraption working, or not working. And now for your enjoyment, his aerial sheep service license in action.
Is there something on top of the scaffolding up there? What? It's donkey! Yes! Look at that, the donkey's holding on! Oh my goodness me. Oh no, it broke off!
Thankfully, Azuma did not take his new friends to help test out Grian's Elytra course, as the sharp turns, swift zooms, and local greenery to the face got the better of him. Seriously, at this point we're fairly convinced that Cub planted that bamboo forest intentionally. Which does not stop Rendog from gambling away his cash and life in the slightest. We're all familiar with Rendog's enthusiasm for frittering away his diamonds, and this week he also wagers his life on Grian's Elytra course.
And yes, I do believe there is a penalty of 1 second every time we take damage.
The tight turns and thin rings lead to him taking a handful of damage penalties, but the retro effects and 80 synths sort of make up for it. With this indignity behind him, Ren decides he's done taking any sort of damage whatsoever, and after explaining the virtues of the grindstone, he grinds out the enchanted books to give him OP protection stacking armor, then proves its worth by setting himself on fire and being blown up by creepers to virtually no effect.
I'm anticipating that we should be able to tank an entire desert full of mobs.
Returning to Hermitville to reintroduce us to the fort, it's clear Renbob has also taken a liking to the place, planting his hippie peace flag on top of its many spires. And if you've been living under a rock, as Renbob himself does from time to time, and you don't know who Renbob is and why he's at Hermitville, here's a flashback for you.
Time has finally come, man, to get in the van and move on to the next destination, because there's always some environmental issues that need to be solved, man. Imagine there's no sludge, man. I wonder if you can, man. Imagine all the hermits, man, living life in peace. Oh, oh, oh.
Ren also has the dubious honour of being the first customer at Sahara Express, buying some iron so he can craft those beautiful new lanterns and complete his hilltop fortress. Joe Hills has also recently moved to Hermitville, and while he initially thought he'd set up his house at the end of the Sahara Street cul-de-sac, he's seen the way the neighbours are behaving and has thought better of it. So, after seeking some advice from Rendog on how the walls are built, Joe expands a section of the wall to better suit his housing needs, although it needs lighting up before it can be reintroduced to the rest of the village.
So instead, I watched some sort of weird show about time travelers that I didn't really understand, and I built this fence.
Joe isn't the only hermit to redraw the village boundaries this week. Impulse SV doesn't want to live in the shadow of all these tall houses, so he moves the wall outward and starts building a large house of his own, keeping with the spruce and stone block palette and raising a couple of majestic towers. The plan is still to make this Impulse Junior's house, but at this rate he'll have room for his 50 grandchildren as well.
I'm gonna, get him a place set up inside his own room, have him get a few roommates as well. What is going on? We got a zombie in here. Is this the Doc zombie? Yep. He's still in there. Okay.
Doc M has a different perspective on how to build big.
Looks like these Sahara guys are in some sort of crazy competition, building up higher and higher. And yeah, we live in a dumpster.
He's building downwards instead of upwards, carving out more space in his secret underground base so he can decorate it like the inside of a giant composter. Of course, this being Doc, he's got to outfit it with state-of-the-art farms, which apparently now involve giving a fox a sword and telling it to slice all the chickens it sees.
You wanna get it? Yeah, and now you're a dangerous boy. Oh yes, indeed you are.
Now where's he gonna find chickens on the Hermitcraft server?
Man, the problem is I have no idea where to get chicken from.
On a completely unrelated note, Grian was also nearby, and the two of them are confronted with the reasons villagers have been disappearing lately. The village is still a valid spawning space for pillager patrols, despite the Hermit's best lighting efforts. The tables have turned for Iskall, who used to have the most outlandish looking house on Sahara Street back when the village first started, but his modern build is looking a little tame by comparison.
It's looking really dumb. It's like a staircase right now.
So, after meeting up with Grian and Mumbo to explain where Sahara 1.0 is at, and why Grian throwing his lunch into the machine broke everything...
Oh no, someone sent stuff here. Uh-oh. Yeah, we have no stock at the moment, is what this shows.
Right.
Someone must have thrown something in the system.
Anything?
I have not. By the second lamp means that it's failed. No, it's found a decoder, and then it's failed to shoot out the shulker box.
That's weird.
So it must have been an item that wasn't in the system. What the
So you're telling me that it's broken?
Iskall decides he's got to build up. No, literally, he builds the house from up. Floating balloons and all. So I guess we can now call him Iskall Fredrickson. While Iskall doesn't seem to have got the memo that to have the tallest house you should probably start on the ground, he's definitely rising above the competition for now.
So maybe we'll have to make some kind of weird staircase going up there just to connect it, but it is fully functional. It is an actual house.
This house measuring contest was arguably started by Mumbo, who wanted to build his house last to make it the biggest. So he does, and it is, but by the time he's gone back to Sahara and made some tweaks to the receipt handling system, he returns to Hermitville to find Grian building just a little bit taller.
I'll tell you what, Mumbo Jumbo. I'm just kidding, Mumbo. We love you really. But you can't have the biggest house, I'm afraid.
So he does what every building that wants to be the tallest building in the world does, and adds a 15-foot radio mast.
How we're going to be able to watch TV and listen to the radio.
The Grian's house grows 3 sizes that day, and even that is superseded by Iskall's tribute to Disney Pixar. So once again, Mumbo does what every sensible person would do, and builds a rocket launch pad on top of his house. The mission control tower is built up behind Grian's house like it's waving bunny ears over his head, and Mumbo's master plan is to launch a slime block flying machine rocket up to build height and establish an orbital station as soon as either of the others shows signs of winning.
I think that is the move. So we're going to play the long game, we're going to pull a sly one, it's going to be very interesting.
While this might sound petty to you, remember, this is basically how the space race started. Though Grian has a different weapon in his arsenal, an army of fans who will not rest until Mumbo starts using his Ariana Grande song in an intro. It's psychological warfare, folks, also known as peer pressure. And that's just about it for this week's recap. Our writer is ZloyXP, and my name is PixelRiffs. As if reporting the news for one Minecraft server wasn't enough, Zloy Epic Map arts himself a newspaper in the latest episode of his Bedrock Let's Play, which you'll find linked in the end screen theatre. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.